Good evening. Oh my goodness, this is great to be on the outside, the Marcy Week show, and we outside, right? And we're gonna act like there's a million people here this evening. Oh, this is such an opportunity to be here, the first roadside parliament. And this is for the people. I'm going to ask you to come and have a seat. You know, you can sit down. You've been here so early and standing up, right? If you didn't bring a chair, we brought extra chairs, right, to make sure we're always taking care of you, because it's about the people. So you can come and you can have a seat. And tonight, as I said, this is our time. We have lined up for you. We had 4 speakers lined up for you, but Lumumba is not feeling well, and so he will not be here this evening, okay? But our speakers, they have, 15 to 20 minutes, and then the floor is going to be open to you. So I'm hoping that you brought your ideas, you brought your recommendations, because tonight, we're talking about our country. We're talking about Barbados. I've been living here over 22 years, and what I was told is that Barbadians are passive. That's what I've been told. They said, well, you can see there are no Maroons in Barbados. Right? Barbadians are passive. The Maroons were in, Jamaica, in Suriname, and Haiti, but not Barbados. And you have to ask yourself, why? Did we have a different set of enslaved people brought to Barbados?
The terrain.
The terrain, that was it. Because we're the same people from Ghana, from Sierra Leone, from West Africa, right? It's the same ancestors that came over here, the same ones that went to Jamaica, that went to Haiti. They're the same ones that came to Barbados.
Yeah.
But what's the difference? The terrain. The terrain. But I have heard over 22 years that the reason Barbadians, that they don't speak up is because they're passive. It's a different type of slaves that they brought here. And that too is a lie. It's part of the lie. It's part of the indoctrination. And it's part of what they do to keep us subdued and not to speak up. And we believe it and we pass it on to our children. But the only difference between Barbadians and Jamaicans is the terrain. No mountains. You have one mountain, Mount Hillaby. We call it a mountain, but it's a hill, right?
It's a hill.
It's a hill. We have nice rolling hills in Barbados. When you go to Trinidad and you see those mountains, and in Jamaica and other places. Okay, so we had nowhere to run and hide. And it's no wonder to today that we see how sometimes we respond when things are happening to us, right? When things happen to us, that we see the government, from one government to the next government, and sometimes it's like, well, what's happened to the people? But we've been conditioned because we didn't fight, right? We didn't fight not because we couldn't fight, and not because we didn't want to fight, but because we knew there was nowhere to run. Just the other day, we were talking to some of the nurses from Ghana who came to Barbados to work here in the hospital. And one of them, she said to me, when she got to Barbados, that she cried. When the plane touched down, she cried because she saw how flat the country was. Because in Ghana, they said to themselves, why did they allow themselves to be enslaved? Why didn't they fight? That is how some of the Africans, what they thought. And she thought that as well. And when the plane touched down at Bradley Adams and she saw the terrain and how flat the place was, she started to cry. And she said they couldn't run. They couldn't do anything. And that is one of the reasons we only had one revolt, Bussa, in 1816, right? It's 1816. I think it's 1816, right? One revolt, and people laugh at it. Since I've been here, you hear Bajans, they laugh at that and said it failed. Yeah, that it failed, and they had so many revolts in Haiti, and they had so many in Jamaica and all the other islands. product of what has happened to us in the past, what has happened to us in terms of the terrain, us not being able to help ourselves and to fight. And that is why sometimes we take so long to respond to what is happening around us. But this evening, I want to say to us Sankofa. Anybody knows what that means? Sankofa. Sankofa means that we're going to return. We are returning to who we were before we landed here. Sankofa, we are returning to our strength. We are returning to our power. We are returning to who we are, kings and queens. Before they brought us here and dumb us down. And it's still failing us, and we're going to run the terror that they put inside of us. That's what we're saying, Sankofa. Can everybody say that with me, Sankofa?
Sankofa.
We're returning to power. We're waking up and recognizing who we are. And saying yes to our identity. We are strong. And just like we were here in the past and they put all of that stinking water, you know, out of the garbage, and we're smelling it. Right? We were here earlier, was nothing like that. Okay? But this is happening, and this is the state of the country stink.
Correct.
We stink. And we're living it, some of us living in it and behaving like we don't smell it.
Exactly.
Belgians would say, you know, jobby, they put jobby on you, right? And we behave like we don't even smell it. We're walking around in the stink, in the jobby. But that is what is happening with our economy. That's what's happening in our society. Corruption stinks in here. Mr. Franklin is going to come and talk about that. But we are a different set of Belgians, right? We're a different set of people. That's who we are. Yeah. We think our own thoughts. Yes? We're different and we're standing up because we're saying Sankofa. We're going to go back to our heritage. We're going back to our strength. And when they say passive, we say passive what? Who are you talking to? That's not our foreparents. They had a fight inside of them. If they had the terrain that they had in Jamaica, and if they had the terrain they had in Haiti, we would have had maroons here.
Oh, you know that.
Because we're the same people. And it's time we start to wake up and, you know, like Samson, find our strength. Return to who we really are. Strong, powerful people. This is our country. Decide that we're going to fight for our democracy. They are not going to tell us who we are. We are not going to take on the labor passive anymore. We know who we are.
Liberate yourself.
Liberate ourselves.
Sovereign.
Yes? Starts in our mind. Starts in what we see ourselves, what we say about ourselves. So when you hear in your workplace and you hear people saying that, Belgians are passive, they're not going to do anything, correct them. Because when you start to speak that out, you become that. And my children will be saying it, and everybody will be saying it. And we never corrected it. We got to change our dialogue, change the speech. And say, we're not like them Jamaicans. They're aggressive. You aggressive too. You have it inside of you. You do, because we are, all of us. They did not ask you where you were from when they were separating us. All of us from West Africa. But we were given different circumstances. But it's a different time. It's a different time. And we smell the stink in this country. And we're saying, listen, our navel string was cut here. Well, I was naturalized. But anybody born here? Let me see, you're born here. Jamaica, we say, anybody born here? You're born here? Who born here? Yeah, man, this is your country. This is your country. And so tonight we're not about about any B's. We're not about D's or P's.
Correct.
Yeah? All of that. We're tired of that. We were setting up and somebody said to me, "What? Which party is this?" I said, "It's on the party." He's looking at me suspicious. Huh? This is Barbados. This is us. This is for us. And I don't know if they have it ready, but I don't know if they have the national anthem ready, but you know, I think that we need to stand at attention to our anthem. Because how many of you were on the march when the anthem was played? Oh my goodness. Listen, I told someone, I had chills, you know? And what I would love to see is for us to start to actually sing it. You know, when it's being played. So I don't know if it's ready. It's ready. So we're going to stand at attention, everybody.